wherever you need to find release. If you're holding on to any tension in the face, just maybe give the jaw a bit of a wiggle. Let your tongue be soft in your mouth, away from the roof of the mouth. The cheeks are soft, the lips are soft. And we're going to just take the awareness now to our own little sun. So the sun is out today. We're going to take the awareness to our own little sun, our solar plexus chakra. And that lies just as in the place where the ribs part, just in the center of your abdomen. You might want to just pop the hands on here. And as we breathe, we're just going to start to send the breath into the solar plexus. So almost feel as though you're expanding from this area through the chest, up to the shoulders, and even downwards, down to the belly, down to the pelvic area. So we're just starting to lengthen the breath and allow ourselves to take as much breath as we can into that solar plexus. And as you breathe in, just start to imagine almost like your own little sun, just starting to shine a little bit brighter with that energy as you feed it those inhalations. So your inhale, just taking the breath into the center of your body, letting everything expand. And as you exhale, you can allow yourself to release back to that center point. That deep, long breath is really allowing you to stay as present as you can with any sensations in the body. And you can be aware as well of things that are happening around you, but the full focus is on what's happening within. Just a couple more breaths here, and as you take these breaths, just starting to move a little bit into the shoulders. Again, maybe move into the neck, taking the head from side to side. You might have the eyes closed, they might be open. And you can allow the breath to keep the breath strong, but don't push anything, don't force anything. If the legs are long, we're just going to bend the knees now. Soles of the feet are on the floor. And just to start, we're going to bring that right knee in towards us. So give it a bit of a hug in towards you. And then taking the knee, we're moving from the hip, but we're taking the knee out to the right armpit. And flex your foot as you bring your ankle just above the left knee. So you're coming into your figure of four. Take the arms out a little bit wide, have a little rock here if this feels okay. And then we're going to lift that left foot off the floor, just bringing the knee in towards you. When you do this, don't lift the head up yet. We're going to work on the core in a minute. Take yourself, if you can, around the back of your left thigh, and you can just start to lengthen your left foot up towards the ceiling here. Just having a nice bit of a stretch. Just take a couple of breaths, send the breath into the right hip. And then you can rebend your left leg. We're going to take the hands now behind your head. Just send those elbows as wide as feels comfortable. Take a deep breath in. And as you exhale, just cradling the skull in the hands, just lifting up now. Lifting up as far as feels comfortable. It doesn't have to be too far. Just feel that solar plexus start to wake up. And then release your head to the ground. You can release the hands as we bend that left knee, bring it all the way down. Just bring the right knee back in towards you, maybe give it a little bit of a move in both directions. And then releasing it to the floor. So we're going to take that to the other side. Take the left leg in towards you to start with. Right knee's bent. Again, chin will start to want to jut up towards the ceiling, especially when we do a little bit of core exercise. So we're just keeping that chin tucked in with the shoulders relaxed. And then take the knee over towards the left armpit. So it's kind of like a wide leg tuck. Or a child pose on your back even with one leg. So flex your foot, engage the foot as you bring that right ankle just above the left knee. Take a little wiggle here, just to make sure those hips are nice and released in the back of your body. And then just start to keep the chin nice and relaxed, shoulders relaxed. Start to lift up that right foot, bring it in towards you. Flex that foot as well. Really want to wake up the feet now. And then we're going to take our hands behind the thigh and just start to stretch it up towards the ceiling. Take a few breaths into that left hip. You might find that from the hip joint you're able to open up a bit more, or if you can, that's absolutely fine as well. Bending your right knee again. Arms coming wide behind the head. So we are cradling the head here with the hand. The movement is coming from here, from the chest, so not from the shoulders, not from the neck. Take a deep breath in and we're lifting up, holding it here. Starting to feel that solar plexus warming up. And then slowly just releasing back down to the floor. And you can release the hands, slowly releasing that right foot. Bring the left in towards you. And again, if you want to take a couple of movements, taking a couple of movements in both directions. And then just bring yourself to stillness. Let's take a nice stretch over both of the legs. So feet are on the floor, bend the knees, legs go up towards the ceiling. So if this is too much, we're going to do a double leg lift here. If it's too much, bend your knees and bring them down. You're still using the core, still using this area around the solar plexus, but you want to push your lower back into the floor. So legs coming up, take a deep breath in as you exhale, lowering them all the way down to the floor. They can be straight or bent. Bringing them back up again on the inhalation. Try to keep the chin tucked in, taking them down again. All the way up. 2 more of these if you can. Taking them down again. Keep the lower back pushed into the floor. Starting to feel that core warm up. Bringing them up. And I forgot to say, I'm not releasing my feet to the floor as I take them down, but if you want to release them, and then push the lower back into the floor again, and then bring them up, you can. Take your arms overhead, tuck the chin in, open the chest, armpits towards the ceiling. Take a deep breath in, and as you exhale, use your core to come all the way up into your Dandasana. So from here, we're going to lift the arms up, reaching up, and we're going to fold all the way forwards. Let your shoulders relax, feel as though you're extending from your spine and then flexing from the hips. So we're going to inhale, take the arms all the way overhead, keep that core engaged, we're coming all the way back down again. So you're kind of trying to stay in an L shape if you can, coming back down. We don't want the hips to lift high, just want to come down, arms come overhead. So take a deep breath in again as we exhale, staying in that L shape all the way up. Reach up when you arrive and then fold forwards. Last one now. So we're going to reach forwards, come up with control, and that's the control right in that solar plexus area. We're coming down, we're not letting the hips lift. Just stretch overhead and then take the hands next to us. We're going to feel as though you're pushing the feet up towards the ceiling 5 times. And it's pretty strong on the core. You could do 10 if you're feeling fit. So inhale, lift. Exhale, release. So use the hands. You're just using the core. 2, 3, 4, and 5. Lovely. Release the feet in towards you. If you're doing 10, carry on. Maybe have a rock from side to side if you've released the feet in towards you. And then take the hands onto the back of the thighs. We're just going to start to rock ourselves backwards and forwards. As long as it feels okay on your neck, along the back of your spine. And then you're coming all the way up to a nice seated position, just taking a few stretches now when we arrive. So I really want you to think about sending all your breath into that lovely central part of your body, opening up that diaphragm area, really taking in this lovely sunlight, letting your little sun shine. So we're going to inhale and take the arms overhead, reach up, really feel the stretching in those shoulders. And the shoulders will come up to the ears here because we're really lifting here, lifting right from the side ribs, lifting up. And then taking those arms wide as you exhale, interlacing them, and just sending the shoulder blades together again, looking up. That might be an inhalation. Take a deep breath in. And as you exhale, coming back to center. One last inhalation, arms coming all the way overhead. And then exhale, hands can come to your heart center. So just let's send both legs out in front of us. We're going to bend over the right leg to start with. So taking the left knee in towards you and have the legs slightly open at an angle. Right leg in towards you if you can sit up straight, sitting up nice and straight. And just allowing that right leg to fall out to the side. If you need to put anything underneath it, you can. We're going to take a little twist. So twisting towards the right leg. Left leg is bent. Doesn't matter which one you do to start with. And then inhale the arms all the way overhead. And we're flexing from the hips, coming forward. So really think about that leg, that foot starting to engage. So feel as though you're pushing the foot into an invisible wall in front of you. And you can feel the energy right from the very base of the heel move all the way up to your bottom. Feel as though you're pushing that thigh bone backwards for a really big stretch. So we're going to walk the hands all the way over to the other side, taking a bit of a stretch over that other leg as well now. And then just placing your left hand behind you, we're going to come up onto the knee and lift up here. So you're taking a baby back bend, really opening up the front of the body, reaching up into the right fingertips. And again, if you want to lift up the right toes, you can, but really think about pushing the hips forward and you're opening up through that diaphragm. Take a deep breath in here. And then with control, just releasing back down to the floor so we can take that to the other side. So just bringing left knee in towards you, sending it out so the legs are a little bit at an angle. Other leg comes in towards you, sitting up straight, so not rounding the back. Foot comes into the inner thigh, and let's stretch first of all over that straight leg. So flex the foot if you can. It's all right if the leg is bent, but just try and wake the foot up if you can. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, folding forwards. Use the breath to sink deeper into this lovely posture, this lovely stretch. And then starting to walk the hands over towards the other side, having a bit of a stretch on this side. Bringing the right hand behind you, starting to lift those hips up. You can lift the left foot off the floor if it feels okay here. Holding it now for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and we're releasing all the way down. So let's come onto all fours when you're ready. So what we're going to do in a minute, just look after the knee. It's quite intense actually, it's quite strong on your core, but just be careful with the knees as well. So let's take the hands a little bit further forward than the shoulders, knees hip distance apart, just finding a neutral spine. You might want to close the eyes. We're just going to move into our classic cat-cows now. So just let your breath lead you. But just think about opening up in that diaphragm as you move. So as you come into your cow, just think about that place as the ribs part, just opening up. And that breath, you're accepting that breath. So making sure you take a full exhalation as you round the back. And as you come back into your cow, it's kind of like you're accepting that breath. So if you want to start to take some movements that just suit your body, start to take some circles with your hips if you want to. You can also, if you want to, if you feel like you need to open up in the sides, sending the hips to one side, looking over that shoulder, and then maybe rounding the back a little bit and taking the hips to the other side, looking over that shoulder. Just take some moments now just to really engage with that breath. Just finding yourself nicely warmed up. And then just letting yourself come back to all fours now. So we're going to start to move from all fours into a low lunge. So again, just be careful with the knees. Should be just quite tough on the core. So we're going to send the right leg behind us. Just pop the toes on the floor for a moment. Just push into the heel. And then just bring that foot forwards, look forwards. And then we're going to start to round the back. Knee comes to nose. Just taking that foot forward. And we're lifting up. Pushing the hips forwards. Let the shoulders relax. Reaching forwards. And you can do this as quickly or as slowly as you like. Looking up. Rounding the back. This is where the core comes in. Planting that foot. Coming overhead. So take 5 of these in total on one side. If you're moving particularly quickly, you might be taking 8. And when you've taken 5 in total, just coming to stay in that high lunge, reach up, push the hips forwards, let the shoulders relax. And keep that length in your spine as you lengthen forwards. Taking both hands on the floor, you might want to lift that back knee off the floor because we're coming into a little bit of a twist now. So just planting the left hand on the floor and just starting to open up from that solar plexus to the right side. Arm can come up towards the ceiling. Lovely. So let's take a deep breath in here and release that hand. Sending your leg back into plank. And then just dropping to the knees. And as you drop to the knees, take the hips back to the heels. Head might come to the floor. Then we're bringing the weight forwards. Shoulder blades together. Taking a baby back bend here. It might be cobra, it might be up dog. One more of those. Hips come back to heels. Then moving all the way forwards. Shoulder blades together, maybe lifting up off the tops of the legs as well. Last one, hips back to heels. And back onto all fours. So we're taking those movements now to the other side. If you need to take a couple of cat-cows here, then do so. But that left leg now is coming behind you. Make sure you engage the core. And then inhaling, taking that back bend. Exhale, coming forwards. Arms come overhead, between 4 and 8 of these. Whatever. I tend to move quite slowly. Some people move a little bit quicker in this. If you're moving a bit quicker, you can take more. But kind of let your breath lead you if you can. Really feel that opening as you take the arms overhead. For something that looks so simple, I think it's quite strong posture, strong movements. Foot comes forward. Reach forward, lift the arms overhead. Some people might just be finishing theirs off. Finish yours off and then just let yourself arrive, pushing your hips all the way forward, really opening up in that solar plexus area. And then keeping that lift in your spine, take the arms on the floor. You can lift that back knee off the floor if you want to. Front knees over the ankle and just starting to take that turn towards the left side this time. Maybe push into that back heel quite strongly so it's nice and stretchy. Maybe looking up towards the ceiling. Take a deep breath in And then exhale, the hand is coming back down again. And we're taking ourselves back into plank position. So just make sure your two straight lines here. Bottom isn't too high, nor is it too low. It's somewhere in the middle. You can feel the core engagement. And then release the feet to the knees to the floor. You can keep the toes tucked if you want, as you take yourself back and forwards now. So as you come forward, weight comes into the whole of the hands, not just the wrists. Shoulder blades together. So you're exhaling kind of as you're coming back, inhaling as you come forwards. Maybe you're lifting up the feet, maybe it's an upward dog on the last one, and then taking yourself all the way back into child pose. So we're going to do quite a strong movement now. So when you're ready, we're going to come back in, kind of come forward into that back bend. So bringing the weight forwards. You might be in cobra. You might be a little bit higher. Wherever we are, we're going to start to take the hips high. You're on the front of the feet. Those feet are nice and awake. And then you can just push into the heels. Let yourself arrive in your first downward dog. So weights evenly distributed across the hands. Shoulders are broad. If you can, here, just lift the toes off the floor, beyond the balls of the feet. And then release those toes again, push the heels towards the floor. As you push the heels towards the floor, send the energy up to your bottom to send the tailbone higher. Take 3 deep breaths in and out here. You're trying to take all the awareness into the legs. So push into those feet to take the awareness, to take the pressure away from the hands. And then when you're ready, you can start to take the legs wide. We're just walking forward to the front of the mat. Legs are wide, knees are bent. Hold opposite elbows here. Have a little bit of a hang here. Maybe give the jaw a bit of a wiggle. And then releasing the hands, we're just going to roll all the way up the spine. Coming all the way up to standing, give your shoulders a roll. Feet can come at hip distance apart. Just make sure that today just really embrace the natural curve of your spine. So don't kind of stick the bottom out, but just allow yourself to come to wherever feels comfortable. But allow yourself to find that lift. So lift the toes up. Push them back into the floor, and from the feet, from the heels, really allow yourself to feel like you're lengthening your body. So we're going to move into some variations of sun salutations now. When you're ready, take the arms next to you. Take a deep breath in. Bring the hands to the heart center. As you exhale, taking those arms overhead, part the hands, and then take another deep breath in. Really reach into those fingertips. Feel the stretch in the side of the body. As you exhale, we're going to fold forwards. As we fold forwards, the arms want to come with the body. We're not letting them release. They're coming with the body all the way down to the floor. Bend your knees, plant your hands. You might lengthen forwards a little bit here. Really plant the hands on the floor. Those of you who are feeling like you're light in the hips, you can jump back. Otherwise, you're stepping back into your downward dog. Take a deep breath in and out here, and when you've done that, we're going to start to bring the weight forwards now, so you're into a plank position. So nice and strong in your plank. So if you're feeling strong from here, tops of the feet are on the floor, you're lifting up into a back bend. Otherwise, come down onto the floor and lift up. We're coming back into downward dog. Take a nice breath in and out here. And from here, if you're feeling light in the feet, you can jump forward into that forward fold. Otherwise, you're stepping forward. Engage your core. As you reach forwards, come all the way up. So arms come with the torso. Reach up. Exhale, release the hands to heart center. Inhale, taking the arms overhead. Exhale, folding forwards. Core is engaged as we fold all the way down. Plant the hands on the floor, forward fold first of all, and then coming into your downward dog. Take a deep breath here, bring the weight forwards. You can either come through knees, chest, chin, or move straight into a back bend, depending on where you are. Everybody comes into downward dog. Nice breath in and out. We're coming to warrior one, leading with the right leg. So inhale the right leg up, take it nice and high, and then we're bringing that knee, bringing the heel to your bottom. Take the knee to the nose now and plant that hand at the front of the mat. Release the back foot. Bend the front knee, it's over the ankle, and we're lifting forwards. Just make sure those hips are facing forwards. Deep breaths in here. So we're just going to straighten that front leg for a moment. Straighten the front leg, reach into the fingertips and re-bend the front knee. Shoulders relaxed. So you can either keep the front knee bent here or straighten it. We're going to move down to the floor. So you're reaching forwards, forwards, forwards here. If it's too much, arms can come onto the hips. And then releasing your foot onto the floor. So now we're just taking the crown of the head down towards the floor. Crown of the head towards the floor, or knee to nose if the leg is straight, but don't lock it out. Just bringing that left hip forwards a little bit because it will want to slip back. And either with the leg straight or rebending it, whatever feels good for you, just don't lock out that front knee. Again, we're reaching forwards, coming all the way up. Push the hips forward, let the shoulders relax, keep both feet equally connected with the ground. Find a focus, we're moving into tree, so hands can come together into the heart center. Start to take the weight onto that front foot, the right foot, bring the knee forwards, find your tree pose today, wherever that might be. So you're sending your knee down towards the ground rather than opening up from the hip. Take the arms all the way overhead, reach into your fingertips. Let your shoulders relax. Hold it here for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Lovely. Take the hands together and releasing them to your heart center. So you can release the leg. Take a deep breath in, we're taking that to the other side. And exhale, take those arms all the way overhead. Take a deep breath in when you arrive again, find length, and as you exhale, body and arms are moving all the way down onto that fold. Plant the hands, if we're nice and light in the hips, we're coming back into our downward dog, jumping or stepping. Take a deep breath in here and then shifting your weight forward so you're in plank. If you're going to come straight into a back bend, push your hips forward, shoulder blades together, open the chest. Otherwise, come through knees, chest, chin. Pushing the hips forward, really important here so that you don't dump into the lower back. Everybody's meeting in downward dog. So we're coming over to lead with the left leg. So left leg comes up towards the ceiling. Point the toe, take a nice big stretch. And then take that heel towards your bottom. Stretch in the front of the quad. Take the knee forwards towards the nose, weight comes forward. And plant your foot on the floor. Release the back foot. Front knee is over the ankle, lengthen forwards. Push into your back foot. Let's take ourselves all the way up. Nice, strong warrior one. Hips are facing forwards. Shoulders relaxed, face is soft. Both feet connected with the ground. So keeping that front knee bent, arms are either staying where they are or hands come onto hips because we want to take that stretch all the way forwards. Hands might come on the floor, you might be straightening that front leg, you might be pulling the right hip forward, in fact most of us will be. I don't know if I can demonstrate. Just so that you know, so you're pulling that hip forward so these hips are as square as they can be. Do you feel a bit of stretch in the right leg as well? So either bending the front knee now, or you can keep it straight if you're not locking it out, but you'll really have to use that back foot and use your core if you're keeping it straight to come all the way up. Super hard, that is, if you do it properly. Bend to the front knee, finding that warrior again. And then bringing the hands together to heart center, finding the focus. Right leg comes forwards. And then find your tree on this side. Reaching up. Take the hands together to the heart center and release your foot. You're at the front of your mat. We're going to come to chair. So we're going to move through another couple of those sun salutations in a different way. So feet can either be together, toes together, heels slightly apart, toes spread nice and wide, or hip distance. You're finding length in your spine, and then come to sit in your chair. The weight will come back into the heels a little bit. Spread the toes wide. Don't let the belly touch those upper thighs. Maybe come down a little bit deeper. Reach into your fingertips. If it's too much on the shoulders, hands can come to heart center. So without letting the belly touch the upper thighs, we're coming into a fold. Hands come on the floor. Bend your knees a little bit again, jumping or stepping back into that plank. Into that downward dog. Take a deep breath in and out here. And then stepping or jumping forwards again into that half lift. Take a forward fold. And then as you bend your knees, get the belly away from the thighs, reach up. Shoulders relaxed. And straighten those legs. Moving through that one again. So hands to heart center. Take the hands next to you. Inhale. Weight comes into the back of the heels, reach up. Knees are over the feet. Without the belly touching the thighs, we're coming forwards into a forward fold. Then at last minute, the belly will touch the thighs. Take 3 breaths here. And then find your half lift. Plant the hands if you're feeling light as a feather, jumping back into that downward dog. Take a breath here. And then stepping or jumping forward into a half lift. Pull your belly in, fold forwards, and then start to take the belly away from the knees. Weight comes back, reach up into those fingertips, hold it here for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Push into the feet, nice big stretch, arms overhead, and take the hands to heart center. So just opening the hips a little bit now, taking ourselves into a bit of a sequence. So we're going to work alongside of the mat now. So just in case you need to move anything, taking yourself nice and wide and taking those arms so they're about at shoulder height to start with. So with the arms here, just looking down at the feet, sides of the feet are parallel. Just be aware of that lower back as you take the feet in towards each other. Maybe you can feel the lower back open a little bit. Arms come overhead, and we're taking a stretch over to the right side. So push the hips over towards the left side, really open the side ribs. Coming back to center, over to the other side. Coming back to center. Arms come wide again and down to shoulder height. Taking my feet so that they come at 10 to 2. Then a big stretch overhead into goddess. So we're not leaning forwards here. When you arrive in goddess, it's always kind of helpful to make yourself feel comfortable. You might take the feet further apart. You might sink lower. Try not to lean forwards. Crown the head up towards the ceiling. Let yourself just sink here. For 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Inhale, arms come up to shoulder height. So we're taking the left toes towards the long side of the mat, right toes towards the bottom of your mat, or whichever way the short side of the mat. Bend the front knee into warrior two. Try to keep the spine neutral. So sometimes my bottom sticks out here. Just pushing into that back sit bone, just to keep myself nice and upright. Relax the shoulders, look over the front fingertips. And breathe. Straightening the front leg, we're coming into Trikonasana. So pushing into that back foot, reaching forwards, coming all the way down, taking Trikonasana. You can look down or you can look up. And we're kind of just with the upper arm, we're just going to take it so that this body then looks down towards the floor. Bend the knee, take in a variation or triangle pose. So you can either straighten that leg or you can bend it, lengthen forwards, and then take the fold. So let's take a little walk around now, walking the hands around to the front of your mat. Both feet are facing towards the side of the mat. Think about lengthening forwards. Try to zip those thighs together, try to bring the knees together, and then folding forward, hands come onto the floor. So nice broad shoulders here. Taking the feet now, so they come at 10 to 2. And we are bending the knees, coming all the way up into goddess. Take goddess arms this time. Sink nice and deep. For 1, keep breathing. 2, 3, 4, 5. Lovely. Straighten the arms, straighten the legs. We're coming into a fold again, so just roll those shoulders back and fold down. Take the feet so that they're facing the long side of the mat. And we're going to start to walk the feet now over towards that, whatever was the back foot, so the left foot. Coming into that fold now, folding either over the leg with the leg straight, or you can have it bent. If you have it bent, take length and then release. Keep both feet connected with the ground. So this is strong in your core. Start to lengthen through your spine. If the front leg isn't already bent, start to straighten it as you find yourself up into triangle pose. Stack the hips, lengthen through your sternum, reach, 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 and push into that back, from the back thigh down to the back heel. Coming all the way up, bend the front knee, finding warrior two. Straighten that leg, take both feet so that they come to 10 to 2 along the large side of your mat. Deep breath in, arms coming overhead, down into, sink into your goddess. As you straighten your legs, take the arms to shoulder height, feet pigeon-toed now in towards each other, arms overhead, over to the left side, send the hips to the right side. Keep reaching, reaching, reaching. Back to center, and then over to the other side. Back to center, and releasing hands to heart center. Give yourself a little bit of a roll, release the hands. We're going to take it a little bit quicker, but go in the opposite direction. So just find the feet a little bit closer together now. So, because we know where we're going now, we can go a little bit faster. We're going to take the hands next to us, nice strong standing posture. Inhale the arms overhead. Exhale, left side, push the hips to the right. Don't let it go just because we're going quicker. This is still, every movement is strong. Over to the right side. Hips to the left. Coming back to center, arms coming out wide. Take the legs to 10 to 2. Arms overhead, sink into goddess. Straight back. Find where the feet need to be to take the tailbone nice and low. And then inhale, arms come to shoulder height. One foot towards the long side, left foot towards the back side. Bend into your warrior. Look over the front fingertip. Deep breath in. Exhale, we're straightening that front leg, reach forwards, finding Trikonasana. So really kind of move intuitively how your body feels good. Deep breath in, I'm taking my hips forward. I can bend my front knee if I want to, or keep it straight as I fold over that front leg. Keep that right hip pulled forward, walking the hands all the way round to find a forward fold. This time we're going to take opposite our ankles, shoulders nice and broad, elbows wide. Push into the feet, don't come onto the side of the feet. Really try to push into the toe. Zip the legs together. Reaching up here. Take the feet into 10 to 2. Inhale, come to find your goddess. Take goddess arms if that suits you. So take the feet at 10 to 2 again. Arms come onto the hips, fold forwards. And then we're walking back to the front of the mat now. Take the hips forward so that you're in that Trikonasana with a, triangle pose, not triangle pose. Pyramid pose with a straight leg or with a bent leg. Find length in your spine. Open up your diaphragm. Nice strong core to find triangle now. Push into the back leg. Almost as smoothly move into your warrior 2. Both feet now parallel or at 10 to 2 towards the side of the mat. Arms overhead, come to sinking goddess. And then we're going to take ourselves to the center again. So straighten the legs. We're going to jump the legs together with control. Arms overhead. This time, stretch it up over to the right side. Keep open in the front of the body. Back to center, over to the other side. And back to center. Release the hands. Coming into our chair pose, and we're going to take it down to the floor. Any problems with the knees, just come to chair and then we'll meet you on the floor. So feet together or hip distance. Find chair. Right, so you're either going to breathe here for about 5 breaths, or you're going to take about 3 breaths here, and then slowly, slowly start to take the bottom down towards the floor, keeping the belly away from the upper thighs as long as possible. Reach into those fingertips. Coming back up into chair, and if you're coming into low chair, slowly bringing yourself all the way down onto the floor. Preparing yourself for a little core exercise to finish. So arms come in front of you, try to stay on the front of the sit bones, lifting the legs up, reaching up. So really bring that chest forwards now, looking forwards, straightening in through your left leg, and just taking a little stretch over to the left, keep the arms nice and wide. And then coming back to center, straightening the right leg, take a stretch over to the right side. Back to center. And we're slowly going to roll down. Or if it's too much to kind of lower down, just rolling down, all the way down to the ground. And as you release, just take those knees, take the knees in towards your armpits, feet towards the ceiling. Take a happy baby here. So have a little rock maybe from side to side, any stress or tension in the back of the body. Lovely, just bring the knees in towards you. We're going to come just to take 3 breaths into this solar plexus area. We're going to move into fish pose. So fish pose, you will be supported by your elbows. It's not really the lower back, and it's definitely not the neck. So we're going to hide the arms completely underneath us now. And I'm going to point my toes. I suppose, I'm just thinking, those of you who it's not so easy for, can bend your knees. So if you've got nice strong arms, we're just going to bend the elbows and I'm looking up towards my toes, and then I open my chest. Look back up at the feet and release all the way down again. Release the, bend the knees, release the hands, and just take those knees in towards you. Have a little rock from side to side here. So keeping that neck nice and long, let's release the feet. Taking the arms nice and wide. We're going to take ourselves into a nice twist. So maybe rock from side to side across the back of your pelvis. And then let's cross the right leg over the left. And just plant that left foot on the floor, and we're just going to lift ourselves up into a little one-leg bridge to start with. So send the hips high, so you are really opening the front of your body. As long as this feels okay, and it should, it's not too intense. Just keeping that left foot in the kind of middle of the center line of the body, and then coming onto the side of the left hips, over to the right a little bit, and then just let yourself relax here. And I know some of you do like to straighten out that leg that's on top. You can do that. You can take the nose to the other side if you want. Think about breathing into that solar plexus area. You'll feel a particular stretch in there, a particular twist. Send the breath to the hips as well. This is nice and releasing for the hips. So from here, you might be rebending the knee. Use your core if you like. So push the lower back into the floor, coming back to center. Find the center first of all before we take it to the other side. Have a little rock from side to side. Just loosen any in the back of the pelvis. And then crossing the left over the right. Bring the right foot into the middle of the mat. And send those hips nice and high. Really open up the chest. Couple of breaths here. Taking the hips over towards the left side a little bit, coming onto the right side of the hips, and then let those legs drop to the other side. Straighten the top one if you like. Let everything relax. Let everything release. So if you need to wiggle yourself around a little bit to find a bit of release, you can. If the knees need to be together because it's too much for kind of the hip or the lower back, doing that. Letting the body kind of return to earth. Let everything release. And then when you're ready, coming back to a nice central position now. So we'll finish off with a nice strong opening posture along the center line of our body. We'll take a nice strong bridge pose. So feet about hip distance apart. Have a little rock up side to side on the back of the pelvis. As we open up, we want to take the arms overhead as well. So pushing the lower back into the floor, lifting the hips up high. As you do, and if it feels all right in your shoulders, taking the arms overhead, maybe taking opposite elbows, lift the hips high, take a deep breath in, 3 to 5 deep breaths in and out. Really feel as though you're filling up that area right from the diaphragm, right from the center of your body, right to the outside, all with lovely, beautiful, golden, sunlit energy. And then when you've taken those 3 to 5 breaths in and out, another breath in. And as you exhale, you're releasing to the ground. And as you do, bringing those arms next to you, and then bring these in towards you. And then look to find wherever Shavasana is. It could be knees bent again, with the knees together, the bottoms of the legs wide. You might be taking a full, nice, long, traditional Shavasana. Legs out to the side, arms out wide. Give the head a little rock from side to side. Take a lovely deep breath in, maybe 2, maybe 3, to let your body know you've arrived at your final Shavasana. If it feels comfortable to close the eyes, just closing the eyes. And just taking these moments to let the whole of the body release into the ground beneath you. So you can allow your breath to return to its natural rhythm. Sometimes we try to hold on to the breath. So just let it go if you can. Use that intuition, that awareness again to release whatever you might be holding on to. And just let yourself settle now wherever you need to be. So you can bring the awareness back to the breath and back to that center point, back to the diaphragm. And just think about that breath creating that sunlit energy, and you can just visualize moving that energy out to all edges of your body, right from the center out to the edges, almost like you're opening up the day ahead. And as you take the awareness out to the outer edges of the body, you can then start to allow in those sensations that connect you with the world around you. So maybe taking 5 to 8 breaths to kind of reach the outer edges of the body. Then be aware of the sensations around you without moving your focus from within, from you. And then once you feel consciously connected again with the world, with yourself, with your breath, with your body, then if you want to take some movements, take a stretch, then doing whatever you need to do. Rolling the shoulders, doing whatever needs to be done. And then you can bend the knees and roll over onto whichever side is most comfortable, and come up again like that nice kind of wave. So you're pushing your upper arm into the floor and the head and the neck come up last of all, and you come up to seated. Let yourself arrive in seated, and we're going to take one last nice big breath just to really fill up the whole of the body with energy to start the day. So we're going to take the arms overhead, filling up with breath, reaching up. Hands coming all the way to your heart center. Maybe take a hand on the solar plexus and the heart space, lifting through your spine. Let any tension release. Take a lovely deep breath in again, feeling the breath in the solar plexus, in the chest. And release. And you can close your practice then however you wish. Thank you very much for joining me this morning, everyone.